Welcome back, my friends, to yet another video here on the channel. Today we got some more Breath of the Wild sequel stuff to talk about. Mr. Aonuma actually did a couple different interviews, and I want to talk about a couple different things that he mentioned in a couple different interviews that I found very, very interesting, and I thought you guys would find very interesting as well. First off, with an interview with Game Informer, he was asked, why are we getting a direct sequel in the first place? What he said is, one of the reasons we wanted to create a continuation was because I wanted to revisit that Hyrule again and use that world again while incorporating new gameplay and new story. Aonuma also spoke about DLC, saying, I really like the idea of having DLC or anything coming after the main game. People play the game longer and enjoy the game a lot deeper. Going forward, that's definitely something we'll think about. Furthermore, he also confirmed that the original director, I'm going to butcher the name, Fujibayashi, is returning for the same role on the sequel, saying we're working together really hard on this game. Later on in the interview, he was also asked if he's given himself a little bit more time to work on this sequel than he had given himself on Majora's Mask, which I think they made in like a year and a half, give or take. So that was a really fast, quick kind of game. And he says, while I was making Majora's Mask, the timeline was in a year. I was a little bit stubborn, and I was going to make it from scratch and was really gung-ho, but it turns out that the staff was a little tired from the process. I've learned to give myself plenty of time. You don't want to do it that way, or else you'll get white hair like me. He says, it will be a continuation, and it will come in full form as it is. So that was the interview from Game Informer, which was very, very interesting. Just quick side note is that, you know, he says they're going to give themselves a little bit more time. I don't know when they started development on this. I don't know if it was, you know, within the past couple months. I don't know if it's been multiple months, maybe like 6 months. Depending how far they are into the development of it, I definitely do not think it's going to be a 2020 release. I'd be very surprised if it is. If it is, wow, that's shocking. But I think it's going to be a 2021 release. Nintendo has been talking about wanting to release a Zelda game every single year. So far, they've been doing it the past couple of years. You know, we had Breath of the Wild, we had Hyrule Warriors, which they do consider a Zelda-typed game, you know, in a way. We have Link's Awakening this year. I think maybe next year, hopefully, we'll get something like Skyward Sword HD, and then the year after, in 2021, we'll finally get Breath of the Wild sequel. But one other thing I wanted to mention, another quote from him, speaking of Majora's Mask, is very, very, very interesting, because he was asked by IGN if the sequel will be related to Majora's Mask, you know, since it has a dark tone kind of similar to Majora's Mask. A lot of people have been kind of tying that similarity together, you know, like Breath of the Wild sequel feels kind of like Ocarina of Time sequel, which is Majora's Mask, which is a very dark game. And this is what he said. He said, the new Breath of the Wild, or the sequel to it rather, is not necessarily going to be related to Majora's Mask or inspired by it. When I read that part, I was like, oh man, dude, like, you know, Majora's Mask is such a great game. It's so dark. I would love to have something inspired by it. But what he said after is that what we showed you currently is a little darker. So that is actually very exciting, because one of the things I really love about Majora's Mask and Twilight Princess isn't as much as Majora's Mask, but still, is the fact that both of those games have a very dark tone, and you know, has a little bit of like eeriness and creepiness, especially Majora's Mask. I absolutely love that about Majora's Mask, and so the fact that they're kind of going a little bit darker than Majora's Mask with the sequel to Breath of the Wild, I think is absolutely phenomenal. It's super exciting, and I just can't wait to see what it's going to be like. I love the darker tone kind of Zelda games. I just love the vibe it gives, and you know, maybe they'll draw a little bit of inspiration from Majora's Mask in some ways, but I don't know, it's very exciting. So what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. What do you guys think about the fact that you know, Breath of the Wild sequel is going to be a little bit darker than Majora's Mask? Are you guys excited for that? I don't know, what do you guys think? Again, I think that's absolutely amazing. I can't wait to see what else they come up with for the sequel, and whenever we get some more information, I'll be the first to let you guys know. That said, I'll catch you guys very soon in another video. Thanks for watching. Like always, until next time, my friends, game on.